Hello guys, if you're new here, welcome at my YouTube video, at my YouTube channel. If you're completely new, my name is Nikki and I live here. I'm on my front porch right now. I live in a cottage on the countryside, quite a rural spot as well, in the Netherlands, and it's a bit windy now, so excuse me for the wind. But I wanted to take this video now because this is the last day. It will be dry and a little bit sunny as well. It's quite cold now, but it's alright. I'll start moving in a second and then it's fine. But tomorrow we will have rain, and then the day after tomorrow we will have rain, and then probably the rest of the week we will have rain. And if I'm very unlucky, the rest of the month we will have rain. So yeah, that's the weather situation. But the sun is shining right now. It's actually quite nice. Enjoy it for a second. So yeah, I live here in a cottage, tiny house, whatever you want to call it. I have some animals walking around over to that side. Next to my porch is horse pasture and field. So I have some horses, some pigs, some cats, some what do I have? Chickens, multiple animals. And in this video I want to talk a little bit more about my life, because I get a lot of questions from people, what it is like and how I grew up, and I try to answer those questions as well, as truthfully as I can, because I like to give a realistic view of living this way, and I love it, so I'm very positive about it. But of course there are parts that are not so positive, of things that people think about it, and yeah, I want to discuss those things, and I'm going to do that in this video. But of course I'm not only going to talk, I'm also going to do things. So today I'm going to clean up this, well, you can see some mess around me here, and this plant, unfortunately it died because of some bad hailstorms. The ones over here actually are doing fine. They made it, because I was a bit worried about them as well, but they are doing fine. But I'm going to clean this up, and I'm going to put some plants in some planters on the edge of my veranda here, on my front porch, because I think it will look nice, and hopefully the weather will be better one day, so I can enjoy it more, being outside. That's what I love the most, but not really possible right now, so that's a bit unfortunate. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my life this way, and I'm also going to show you some things I'm going to do. First, starting with put the plants here. I bought them yesterday. They are still at the end of the lawn in a wheelbarrow when I took them out of the car, and still need to bring them over here, and yeah, that's something I'm going to do now. Let me remove this old tripod. What I get asked very often is if I don't feel lonely, if it's hard living alone. One second. So, what I get asked the most is if it feels lonely, and if it's hard living like this when you're alone. And for me that's a bit tricky to answer, because I don't really know any better. I'm single and I live in my cottage alone, and I live pretty secluded for the Netherlands. Of course there are some larger cities that aren't too far away from me, but the area where I live, it's pretty rural. It's definitely on the countryside, and for a lot of people this will feel maybe even a bit like the end of the world, but I'm used to it, so that helps. I grew up on the countryside. I was born in a very small village. We always lived on the countryside, not close to any big cities or anything. Always a bit rural as well, so I'm used to that part. It's not like I moved here from a big city. I went to university in Amsterdam, so I did my studies in the bigger cities. It's not like I've never been outside of the countryside. That's not true as well. because when I say I grew up here, a lot of people think I've never seen anything else. But I love to travel, I love to see the world, and I also studied as well. So, and Milky? But I love this life. And do I feel alone? Yeah, sometimes maybe. I live on a family-owned property, so I'm not really alone. My brother lives very close to me in a tiny house as well. And my mother actually lives on the front end of this property. It's quite large, so it's not like I always see her. And she's very busy. So in that way I don't really feel alone. But I do feel... yeah, well, I do notice it's secluded, of course. There's no noise, no people really very close by. It's not busy here at all. For some things you do have to drive a bit further, or it's not as easy as some people would say. But that's actually also a part I love about it. I will explain a little bit more about it. First, I bought all these things when I was at the market, because I think they would be real nice. Let me show you what I have in mind. Like this, and then, well, I don't think you can see that. I'll put it over here, like this, and then with something very beautiful in there, of course. I'm not real good with plants. I try my best, and I try to figure it out as much as I can, but it's pretty new to me. I never had really very much interest in plants and those things, but now I live here, and yeah, I just like it to be beautiful, especially when summer is coming around, hopefully one day. So I have a few of those. I want to put them in multiple different spots, and then see, I have some different things to put in there, see if I can keep it alive, but I'm pretty hopeful I will manage to do it. You can see that large planter over there. Very happy with how it looks, and it's doing great for now, so I'm keeping that one alive. Hopefully with the smaller ones it will also work out. Let me show you the plants I got. First, remove this. So, let me grab you. My camera is on a tripod right now, so vlogging, like holding you and taking you with me, is not as easy as it is with maybe a mobile phone or anything. It's quite heavy when the camera's on a tripod, but hey, I'll try. And also the wind is pretty bad. But yeah, so lonely, I don't really think. Let me close this. I don't really think I feel very lonely that often, or at least maybe I do feel lonely sometimes, but I also like being lonely. So for a part, that's just something I like. I like being in nature, I like being outside, I like quiet. So do you feel lonely? Maybe, but do I dislike feeling lonely? Not really, actually. Would I love to share this with somebody? Maybe. I don't know, maybe. I think still, well, I wouldn't say I'm young anymore, unfortunately, but not really old. But yeah, let me get the wheelbarrow. Oh, and for you guys that don't know, Cruelli here, if you see her in the video, she has this thing, the cone on her head. Hey, sweet girl. That's because she has severe allergies. Oh. She has allergies, so she gets large wounds, and we treat her with medicine. It's been like this her whole life. We try to treat her the best we can, but sometimes she needs the cone because it's just too bad. And that's right now, so she's doing all right, but if you see her walking around like this, that's why. So yeah. Then we have another one. Let me show you. Milky over there, Cruelli over there. But yeah, I will get the wheelbarrow. Also, it's getting dark. Do you see the guys? It's getting dark around me, which might mean the rain will be here pretty quickly. So that's a problem because I still have a lot to do outside. So yeah, I'll grab it. these are all the things I got. I got some like hanging planter things. I'm going to attach those to the side of my cottage because I think it will look very cool. And the rest of those small things will go into the pot, the planters that I will attach to my front porch. And I also think that's going to look very beautiful. And I'm not great at talking and working at the same time. You guys might have picked up on that already. So first I'm going to explain a little bit more about one of the hardest things of living here. And it's not, for me, it's not being lonely, because that's a part I quite like. But right now it's the weather. If you've seen some of my videos, you have probably seen, hey meisje, you've probably seen some of the bad weather I've been having, and yeah, it's crazy lately. So the weather is, I think, one of the hardest things of living on the countryside right now. Not only the countryside, but everywhere, I think. And I just checked the weather forecast as well. They expect a lot of rain coming the next 2 days, really. And yeah, it's pretty bad. We've had very, very large storms. And I think living in a cottage under the trees in a very rural place on the countryside, it's just a bit scary. So I love it, and I think, oh meisje toch, she's making me very dirty, but we'll accept it for now because she's not feeling well. I love it here, and I have a lot of space and animals, and I can enjoy nature and everything, so that's amazing. But the downside is when there is big storms, it's pretty scary, and some people watching YouTube might think or leave comments like, aren't you afraid? Don't you ever feel scared? And it's so amazing that you live there alone and are never scared. And that's not true at all. I can be scared of storms, guys. It's nature is extremely powerful. When you live under the trees and you live in a wooden cottage, it's you feel vulnerable very quickly, and you really see the true force of nature. And some of you guys might have the same experience as I do, and even in cities as well, in large buildings, nature can be brutal. But here, if something happens, it can go wrong very quickly. Also with larger farms, it's not always only in a wooden cottage, it can also be a very large farm. If there is a real bad storm, it can go bad pretty quickly. So it's not like I'm never scared, that's just something I want to tell you. Maybe go over here, Cruelly. It's not that I'm never scared, because I do get scared, and it might seem when you watch my videos that I'm fine with it and I feel no fear at all, and I'm always very courageous, and I like to think I am. But yeah, when there's a big storm, I think 2 weeks ago we had a very large thunderstorm, and there was hail and there was rain and there were crazy winds and large tree branches were falling, or even trees. And then yeah, I do get scared. So I also think it's part of it, and it's also maybe something I wouldn't say I enjoy, because I don't enjoy it, but it's part of it, and it also makes you appreciate living like this a bit more. And I think also because it's a challenge, it is just more special in a way. I don't know if I'm able to explain my feelings very well now, but I'm trying. So I do get scared, and I think the hardest part is just the weather. We've had some flooding recently because of all the rain, and also in Germany. It's for you guys that don't really know, it's next to the Netherlands. We share some rivers. There's been major flooding, and also some parts of the Netherlands it's just been scary. And also over here it's been scary with all the weather, ruining things and ruining gardens, plants, crops, fields. And also with animals it can get scary. So yeah, it's not like I don't feel fear. I do. I maybe don't show it too often, but I do feel it, definitely. I think everybody does. And I try to just enjoy the beautiful moments and the scary moments. I try to live in it and acknowledge it, and Also then the next day when there's a beautiful sunset or an amazing sunrise, or I hear the birds in the background or the frogs, I just try to take it all in and enjoy it even more, because yeah, nature can be brutal. So I will start putting the plants in now, and then after that I will answer some things I get asked about this life as well, and that's probably going to be what I like the most, because of course that is something I like to talk about often. But first let's do this, because I cannot work and talk at the same time. I try, guys, but I'm still a bit new to this. Oh, you can see this maybe on my dress. That's because of Cruelli. Cruelli is the black cat. She likes to make your clothing dirty, but I love her anyway. So I didn't really like them when they are here, because I think they are a bit too low, and it looks better when they are a bit higher. So I just make a small hole in here, and then with the screw I can attach them here, and I think it looks, yeah, kind of nice. Now I made a small hole, and with the screw you can just attach it like this. I'm all done here. I'm quite happy with how it looks. Turned out pretty nicely. I have some plants over there left over. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the... Hello? Chickens always have something to say. Very hard to film a video with everybody around. But I have those left over. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them, but I'll put them somewhere. For now, I think it's more important that I will give the horses a new hay bale. Because it is starting to get very, very cloudy. So I think the rain might be here tonight, and it will not be tomorrow, but it will start tonight. It feels like it as well. I'm starting to get a bit cold. So I'm going to put the horses on the field where the hay bale is at. I need to give them some fresh hay. They are on the field with the grass now, and when there's a storm and there's rain, I want them to be in the field that has the shelter in it. Right now they are able to walk in all fields, so they can also return to the shelter. But when it's real stormy and real bad rain, like it will be the coming days, I want them to be closest to the shelter and to the safest field. Because the other field is underneath the trees, and when it's storming pretty bad, I think that's a bit dangerous. So I always put them in the field that I feel is the most safe and where they have enough shelter. So that's what I'm going to do now. The chicken is touching my tripod, so I don't really know if you guys are shaking a bit, but then you know what's happening. So I will give them their hay, so it's already done and I don't need to do it tomorrow in the rain. And I will put them in the field, so when it starts, probably tonight, I think if I judge the clouds now, I think in an hour or two it will be not dry anymore. So that's what I'm going to do that. I'm looking at the horses now. It's so nice to see. They are already moving to the good field, so if I'm lucky I only have to close it, then they are at the right spot. So yeah. Oh no, they're walking the other way already. You should never say those things because it never goes the way you plan it to go. That's what I'm going to do now. So, if you're new here, you will see my horses, you will see some of the fields now. And if you're not new here, you already know what they look like, but hopefully you'll still enjoy it. Now I can grab the hay bale from over there. Everything is closed, so now I can open the other fence and roll the hay bale through this gate, and when they escape, because sometimes they try to, then they are in this field and not just running everywhere. So that's why I always need to close and open and close and open, just how I made it. Good morning, guys. So I was right yesterday. It started raining and it's raining pretty badly. So I wanted to talk to you guys about the things I like about my life here in the countryside, in a rural area, because yesterday I talked to you about being scared when there are storms and being alone, feeling lonely as well. And yeah, I wanted to tell you also a bit of the positive things, because for me, I really love this life. I don't really know how well you can hear me with the rain, but even when it's raining, I'm still happy to live here because I just enjoy being in nature. And one of the most positive things for me is just being outdoors. So I love spending time outside, spending time in nature. I love animals. And living this kind of life, you have a lot of space outside most of the times. I do. I'm lucky enough to have this family-owned property. I think she touched the electric fence. Poor chicken. She's fine, guys, don't worry. It scared her, definitely, because it's so wet now. But yeah, I'm just a real outdoor and nature lover and animals, so I have the space here to be outside a lot. Because I live in just a small wooden cottage, I don't really have space inside, but that's fine for me because I love being outside as much as I can, even when it's raining like it is now. So yeah, my love for animals, and I'm at the chicken coop right now because I was going to feed them and release them. They don't really like it when it's raining like this. But I will still give them the option to go outside if they want to. Maybe it will stop raining later, but for now, yeah, they can choose if they want inside or outside. So animals, nature, being outdoors, that are really the things I love about this life, but also because it's a bit simpler, it's more quiet, and that's really what I enjoy about it. But let's release the chickens, shall we? There is a beautiful selection of eggs here again. I will grab them later because they will lay some more during the day, and then I can grab them all at once. It's more effective that way. But yeah, this is what I love, just spending time outside and with the animals around me, eating the eggs from my own animals. Just a bit simpler, I guess, for most people. For me, it's not that strange because I grew up on the countryside, so I saw farmers around me all the time. Oh, there's so much rain in my face. I saw farmers around me with animals all the time. It was pretty normal for me. So yeah, it's just, I guess, what I'm used to. But also I appreciate it more now I've studied in the cities in Amsterdam, and I really know what I like now, because when I was a bit younger and I studied there, I was thinking about maybe renting a place there. First, it's really expensive, but secondly, it's just, I thought it would be nice then, but I couldn't wait to go home again. And this for me feels like home. It's just, I love the outdoors so much, and I couldn't live in a city, I think, because it's just so busy and noisy and a lot of people. And I think the life in the city, for me, it feels a bit like everything needs to go quick. It's always, everybody's in a hurry, and that's just something I don't really like. And here it's a bit different. Of course, there's, with animals and with working on a farm and those things, you are always busy as well, but it just feels different for me. So yeah. And things like this, the chickens behind me, I just love watching them. It's just those simple things that really bring me joy. But what I also love is just building things, being able to have the space outdoors to build things, to start new projects, to build things with nature. just doing things with my hands, and that's something I'm able to do here because I have the space. So I want to make a greenhouse, I can build a greenhouse. I want to have other animals, I can make a new animal enclosure and keep other animals. If I want to improve my cottage, I can improve my cottage and don't have to worry about anything because I have the space. And that's something I also really like. And also indoors, because I'm going to go inside very quickly, I'm becoming real wet now. I just like to make things like candles, soap, bake my own bread. Those, I don't know, probably some people are thinking, oh, that's boring, simple things, but that's things I love. So I will tell you more about things I make and like to do, some DIY projects when I'm inside, because it's too wet to be outside all day. We are inside now. Because the weather is so extremely bad that being outside for long periods of time is just not happening right now. I get rained on multiple times a day, so I need to change my clothes multiple times a day, and yeah, it's a bit annoying because right now it's June and normally the weather is pretty good right now, but yeah, that's not the case this year, so hopefully we'll have some weeks of summer coming, but for now, yeah, that's just how it is. But luckily I don't like to spend all my time outside. Well, if I could, I would. If the weather would be nice, I would definitely spend most of my time outside, but when it's not, I'm able to enjoy myself in my cottage. Most people are like, it's such a small place, how do you do it? Doesn't it get boring? Isn't it hard? Hey Zenny. You can hear the sounds on the ground. It's Zenny. He's right here, just out of frame. But that's the noise. Because Zenny, my dog, he also really likes to be inside when it's raining. He's not a big fan of the rain, so... Hey boy? But yeah, I'm able to enjoy myself inside, and most people think, well, it's such a small place, how does it feel, and doesn't it feel like cramped or like you don't have enough space? And for me it's fine. I kind of like the cozy feeling, the living in a tiny house, in a cottage like I do. It's more for me about the space I have outdoors, and indoors I don't really need much. I'm just on my own. I have of course my animals, but only Zeno really lives inside with me, and it's just, maybe it takes some getting used to, because a lot of the times it's about the stuff you have. So if you have a lot of stuff, then it's a problem, because yeah, I don't have a lot of space indoors. But for me it works fine. I'm alone, I have plenty of space for me. I like to do some DIY projects as well. So I like to make candles, I like to make things with clay, like this one that I made. It's handmade. I made the base for it, put a candle in it, and I really enjoy making those kind of things. So like this one, and I made this one. I don't have any fresh eggs now, I still need to grab them, but the rain was too much. But I made this egg tray, and that's things I like to do on the inside. Just make things, build things. If I work on my cottage on the inside, I have some plans for my bathroom. Isn't to do some work in there. Of course, I like to spend some time building things inside, but I don't have any big projects for inside my cottage right now. It's mostly outdoors. But those small DIY projects like these, with the clay and with the candles, yeah, I love doing those as well. So it's not like, because it's such a small cottage, that I don't have anything to do. It's, of course, I have a lot of work outside, and that's what I enjoy the most. But right now I spend time inside because the weather is not great, and then I'm able to enjoy myself in such a small space, and I don't really think it's a limitation for me. Maybe even more so, it's freeing in a way, because I don't have a lot of stuff, and Yeah, for me it feels just like freedom, because I'm able to live here in a small cottage, but it's such a nice spot and I have a very nice view, and if I step outside I'm in the middle of nature. So for me that's just the most important thing, and inside space I don't really care about that much, as long as I'm able to do some small DIY projects like these things. I'm completely happy with it. Listen, you want to go outside, boy? Just wait till the rain is gone, eh? So for me, that's not really a downside to living this way. I quite like having a small space, having a cozy space to live in, just a simple cabin where you can work on yourself if you like to. It's big enough for me to have plenty of space inside. I have a separate bathroom, I have a bedroom, I have a living room area, kitchen area. It's kind of the same. So I'm standing here at the end of my kitchen and my living room is right over there, right behind the camera. So of course it's small, but for me it's perfectly fine, and I'm able to build things like these, make these small things, enjoy myself, have a great view to outside, and yeah, I really love it. So that's the video for today, guys. If you're new here and you like what I'm doing and you like to see more, please subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. I love to hear from you guys, where you're all from, how the weather is there. I always love to read those things. This was a bit more of a talking video, but most of my videos for you guys that follow me are about projects that I'm doing, building, animal things, DIY projects. That's what I love the most. But sometimes I like to make a video like this explaining a little bit more about the things people think about living this way, and questions you might have, of assumptions even, because I love to explain a little bit more. It's a bit funny because I'm petting him, but I don't think you can see him, so I'm like petting my invisible dog. Sunny, let's show yourself. Look, he's really here. So yeah, if you like what I'm doing and you would like to see more about living in a cottage on the countryside with animals, different projects, please subscribe. It really helps me, and yeah, I love to share my journey with you. I'm still just trying out and learning as I go, but I love all the nice comments, so thank you very much. And if you have anything that you would like to see or have any questions, just leave a comment, and I always try to get back to all of you, and if I get asked multiple things, I will try to address it in a video as well. So yeah, also an update. I received all the things I need for the guinea pig enclosure, so if you're interested in seeing that, I will probably start building next week, so that's very exciting. Although the weather needs to be a bit better. So yeah, a lot of nice things for next week's video, so make sure to subscribe if you're curious to see what I'm doing outside most of the time. Yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.